That's right, scholars. It is Tuesday, and we are just beginning to see what's going to happen in Narnia. So tune in today. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of ELA class, and let's move on in with our friends. We read in chapter 4 that Edmund begins his conversation with the lady. The lady is very rude and she is very demanding at first, but she quickly changes her tone. She invites him onto her sleigh, she gets him warm, and then she uses some sort of potion to create a strange but delicious drink for him. Then she takes a request on what he would like to eat, and he chooses Turkish Delight, and she uses that same potion to create some Turkish Delight. Well, as Edmund enjoys the food and the drink, his lips loosen up, and he begins speaking very freely to the queen about his siblings. As the conversation progresses, the queen promises to make Edmund a prince and one day king if he will return to Narnia with his siblings and bring them to her home. She tells him that he cannot have any more Turkish Delight until he brings his siblings, and it's the most delicious Turkish Delight he has ever had, and he really wants some more. She tells him to trick his siblings into coming. He is not to tell them the plan. Well, shortly after the queen leaves, Lucy finds Edmund. Lucy is very excited about Narnia, but Edmund is still pretty nervous from his experience he just had, and he's probably wondering what to do. The two return home, and Edmund begins to feel very sick. Let's watch a brief video and see how the BBC portrays Edmund's experience.
A little better. Perhaps something hot to drink. Should you like that?
Oh, yes, please. Your Majesty.
You like it?
Oh, yes, Your Majesty. It makes me feel warm right down to my toes.
But it is dull, son of Adam, to drink without eating. What would you like to eat best in all the world?
Turkish Delight.
Turkish Delight? It shall be. Delicious? Good. But this is a cold place for talking. Let us adjourn. And where are they, these other three humans?
Can't say for sure. One of them, Lucy. You see, nobody believed her when she told us she'd been in here and had tea with a fawn. Anyway, we're the only ones in the whole human world to know anything about, what do you call it? Narnia.
4 of them. The prophecy of Care Paravel.
It's all gone.
What?
I could eat twice as much.
Son of Adam, I should so much like to see your brother and sisters. You must bring them to me. All right, I'll try. Because if you brought them to me, I should give you more Turkish delight.
Oh, give it to me now.
But I can't. The magic will work only once. It would be another matter if you were in my house. My magic house.
I want to go there now. I want more Turkish delight.
It is a lovely place, my house. Except for one thing. I have no children. I would so much like a nice boy I could bring up as a prince. He would be king of Narnia when I'm gone. He would wear a gold crown and eat Turkish delight all day long. And as you are much the cleverest and handsomest young man I have ever met, I wish to make you the prince. When you bring the others to visit me.
Why can't we go there now?
Oh, but if I took you there now, I shouldn't see your brother and sisters. You must have courtiers and nobles. I will make your brother a duke and your sisters duchesses.
I shouldn't bother. There's nothing special about them. I could bring them another time.
But once in my house, you will forget everything. No. You must go back to your own country now and come to me another day with them. Otherwise...
But I don't even know the way back to my own country.
Why, that is easy. Do you see that lamp? I think somewhere beyond that lamp lies the world of men. And now look the other way. Do you see those two hills? Yes. My house is between those hills.
When you saw this lady yesterday, you had a first impression. And we learned that a first impression is your opinion of a person based on how he or she acts when you meet for the first time. So now I want to ask you to think, do you still think your first impression of her was correct? Did you notice how she was very rude at the beginning? But when she realized that Edmund had some information she needed, she suddenly became very nice. Did you notice that as the conversation went on, she kept accidentally slipping back into her usual rude personality and then catching herself, and then she would start being nice again? Let's use the Queen of Narnia to help us learn a new vocabulary word, which is manipulate. If we pull it up in dictionary.com, it would look like this. And the first definition is to manage or influence skillfully, especially in an unfair manner. Let's also look at the third definition, to adapt or change to suit one's purpose or advantage. Do you see some of that going on in the way that the Queen of Narnia is treating him? Then we could go to thesaurus.com and get a list of synonyms. All of these are synonyms for manipulate, and I think that manage would fit well into Edmund's situation. Mold, she's molding him into something she wants him to be. That would fit. Swing, she's trying to swing him around to her side. Use, she's trying to use him. Work, she's trying to work him to get her way. So we have several synonyms here at thesaurus.com that would fit Edmund's situation. This is an excerpt from an article in Time magazine entitled How to Tell If Someone is Manipulating You and What to Do About It. And we've learned that an excerpt is a smaller portion from an overall book or article. The author of this particular article mentions a number of ways to tell if you're being manipulated, but I want to focus on this particular one. There are strings attached. If a favor is not done for you just because, then it isn't for fun and for free, says Steins. If there are strings attached, then manipulation is occurring. Steins refers to one type of manipulator as Mr. Nice Guy. This person might be helpful and do a lot of favors for other people. It is very confusing because you don't realize anything negative is going on, she says. But on the other hand, with every good deed, there's a string attached, an expectation. If you don't meet the manipulator's expectation, you will be made out to be ungrateful, Stein says. In fact, exploiting the norms and expectations of reciprocity, or doing what the person needs in return, is one of the most common forms of manipulation, says Jay Olson, a doctoral researcher studying manipulation at McGill University. So does any of this remind you of how the witch is treating Edmund? I see a lot of similarity here. Let's now watch an excerpt from a YouTube video entitled, "What is Manipulation? Manipulation Techniques." The gentleman from All Our Questions who narrates this video has 10. We're just going to look at the first one.
Manipulation is defined as control or influence over a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. Salespeople do it, significant others do it, friends do it, family members do it. Manipulative behavior has even been observed in children. There are a lot of tactics for manipulation, but in this video I'm going to share with you 10 of the most common ways that people manipulate each other. And let me know down in the comments below if you feel that you've ever been manipulated, and if you want to, you can even share the full story. 1. A manipulator might ask you a ton of questions. The reason they do this is so that they can identify your strengths and your weaknesses and pry out of you the best angle to take to get what they want.
As we prepare to read chapter 5, let's look at some more vocabulary words with which we may not be familiar. Savagely means angrily. Coolly means calmly and without concern. Logic means good reasoning and thinking things through. Spectacles are eyeglasses. Inclined means interested or likely. Trippers are tourists. In other words, they are people on a trip. Taken aback means surprised. Queer in the head means going crazy. At their disposal means available to talk to them. Taking a party over the house means showing tourists around. Sharp's the word is a British expression for let's get away quickly. So now that we have discussed and prepared, it's time to read chapter 5. Again, put yourself into Edmund's shoes. The challenge question is this: why do you think that Edmund is pretending that Narnia is just a game that he and Lucy played? Answer it in 1 to 2 proper and complete sentences, and email your response to gekelley@jmcss.org for the shout out. Scholars, I've enjoyed spending this time with you. I love you and I'm very proud of you. I will see you tomorrow.